Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing today? So today I'm going to show you all what it's like to do the work that we talked about. So today is going to be very interactive. So I hope everyone has their pen and paper and that they can pull up their client experience scorecard for sellers. So the first part is, I realized from yesterday and some of the questions, the best thing we can do is get you guys started. Right. So a lot of times we've given you the scorecard, we've given you the exercise, but now I want to make sure that there's no challenges or roadblocks in your mind. And let me show you how to walk through doing this. So let me just put it, I'll put this in the chat again, just in case anyone doesn't have it. And we'll go from there. That's beautiful. Anyone has that red sun, please, the red moon, please email it to me. So, okay, now let's get started. Let's go through actually how to effectively grade ourselves to begin with. Now, I need you all to do this too. Okay, let's go to pre-qualifying, completing a CRM contact with tags, right? So I would put like a 1 through 5. Now let's go through these numbers. A 1 means I'm not doing it, I need to start, right? A 5 means like I'm doing it, but I'm like doing it half-assed, right? Like I'm just doing it more to like go through the motions and I actually do it. 6 means I'm doing it, but like I really don't put a lot of thought into it, but it works. A 7 means it's functional. An 8 means that I'm doing it and it's something I can repeat and use. But the 9 and a 10 really is that there's always room for growth, right? So ideally, we want to get everything to an 8. So when we talked about creating and completing the CRM with tags, right? We talked about tagging the geographic location, tagging that it's an off-market property, tagging that you've gone on a listing appointment, right? So that's what I would do. So first thing is put a 1 through 10 next to that. Share with everyone in the chat. Some people will make this interactive where you are in the process. This is a 1, a 6, a 7, an 8. Don't put a 9 or a 10. Unless this is something you really use and now you're using it to get business. Don't ever put a 10 because everything can get better. 7, 7, 5, 6, 3, 6, 7, 3. So look, what I want to point out to all of you, there's just saying I'm in the perfect place right now. I'm just too good to stay here. And the reality is look how well your businesses are all doing and you have so much room for improvement. So when you find areas that aren't doing well, what you don't want to do is beat yourself up. It's an opportunity. The whole point of going through this and business planning and understanding this is to figure out where the opportunities are of your business. But if you beat yourself up for finding an opportunity, do you think your brain is going to want to look for these things? No, because it likes certainty and comfort. It's uncomfortable if you find an opportunity and you're not nice to yourself about it. So we really want to make sure that we also approach this with the right mindset. Now, look, I want to get everyone to an 8, right? So, as Robert always says, what does success look like? Success looks like being able to put these appointments into our CRM, where if a buyer's looking for an off-market property, we're like, okay, great. Here are the appointments I went on. Here's the people that didn't list, right? If they list with somebody else, put a tag. It says listed with somebody else, right? So when you want to look it up, you can put those 3 tags in, like Westport, Connecticut, off-market listing appointment. Say, all right, great. Like over the last several years, I've gone on all these things. Now, this is how you start thinking through your business at scale, right? Because I keep talking about a 1-year business plan versus a career, right? You're running a marathon, not a 100-yard dash. So we want to start doing things with purposeful intent that we can use for years to come, right? So if you've gone on all these different appointments, had all these different conversations, and some of these homes just never sold, 2 years from now, you could go and reach out to someone like, hey, I have someone who will pay an insane amount of money because they have to have a house in your neighborhood. Would you sell at this price? And this is how we start finding deals when deals don't exist. Does that make sense to everybody? All right, now I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes, right? And go through and score the next 2 sections, right? Go through creating collections for comps and sharing it with the client. Remember, you only get to an 8 if you're using this in a way to grow your business that's already really successful. Meaning in collections for comps, this would be sharing it with the client, they're engaging in it, they're thanking you for it, they're looking forward to using it, they're conditioned to use it, right? That's collections for comps. So go through and everyone make a score for that. And understand, right, when we did this, remember the whole present state, future state, where's the gap, what needs to be done, what are you currently doing? That's how you think through this. Let me pull that up. Remember we did present state, future state, right? Identifying the gap. So you identify what's off in what you're doing versus what you want. Filling the gap. Here's what you need to do. If you're looking at collections, here's what you currently do for collections. And then here's your solution. This is how you think through this. You guys all have access to this doc. So the way that this process works is you're going to use the scorecard to score yourself. And then you're going to go through and use this present state, future state process to understand and to create what you need to do next. Now, I'm going to pause for a second while everyone does this. Does anyone have questions about the process of how to do this? This is a completely new way of thinking. Hit think in the chat if you understand this and this is a different way of thinking through how to grow your business. Let me see where all of you are. Okay, so one person said that they're not following. So let me go through this. With one person saying a lot of people are thinking. So you want to be able to identify through a scorecard what areas you need to focus on the most, right? So if you go and just grade yourself throughout this, you want to get the 1s to at least 7s, like it's something that you're doing that it makes sense. But the question is, if I'm at a 1, how do I get to being a 7, right? Not enough people wrote thinking here, so some people I could tell are stuck, right? So what I'm teaching you is more of a strategic planning approach to grow your business as a career. This is about curing a cause versus treating a symptom. Once you understand how to think this way, you can grow any area of your business. So I'm going to go through this slowly, and this is why I want it to be interactive, because I did not want us to leave this to chance. So step 1, you're going to go through and you're going to score yourself. You could do it section by section, or you could do the whole thing and go back. Then what you have to do is this. Now you have to identify I'll share my screen. All right, everyone, is anyone unclear on the whole scoring part? Write unclear in the chat if you're unclear. I think that one, I hope that we're in alignment on. Okay, good. So this is a part where some of us probably needs some more clarity. Present state and future state, right? So I could do present state. Not using CRM to document information so it can be of value in the future. the future state, right? Document city listing appointment, off market, track if they list with another broker, and be able to access the homes I went on appointments that did not list for future opportunities for buyers. That's the difference between your present state and your future state. Does that make sense to everybody? If anyone's lost at this place, please let me know. And we'll go a little slower. This is how you think through present state, future state, right? Identifying the gap. In this, the gap would be currently I rush through the process and simply enter information into the CRM more to check it off a box than I do as a strategic approach for the future. Currently, I rush through everything. So how do you know what the future state should be? If you don't know a future state, I'd encourage you to reach out to the community. Talk to people here. There are hundreds of people in our community that are happy to collaborate with you. Talk to your sales manager. And I would, again, lean back on the people here. Ask, right? So that's the present state, right? Now we have to fill the gap. For each listing appointment, I will document via tags the geo city, off market, and listing appointment. I will update in the notes the motivation and reason for the owners potentially moving for future reference. The more information I can collect via the Med-C process, the more effective I can be in the future if I had to influence them to move or take an off-market offer. And this would be what I currently do. What you currently do. Enter the name and email of the people only. That's it. And now here's the solution, right? Solution process. All CRM contacts will have name, first and last of all parties, tags, GeoCity, listing appointment, off market, login activity for all conversations. The note sections will have as much info about their Med-C as possible. Utilize tasks as a way to follow up on all promises. Okay, everybody. Truth serum's out. Where are you with all this? Where are we lost? Someone unmute themselves and share their thoughts, because if one person's speaking, it's probably what a lot of other people are thinking. This is not, so let me just pre-frame this by saying, this is not going to be easy for you to do, right? Like a lot of us have kids, right? Do you remember what it was like when you try to get your kids to crawl, how hard that was? And then when they walked, they just kept falling on their face, right? And then all of a sudden they started walking and you realize that we all had to live in gated communities. Of course you don't want to do this because it's not comfortable to you to do it. The fact that your body's resisting it is exactly why you should do it. You know, Mel Robbins, this is not my quote. She says, you'll never have what you want in life by doing what you feel. Never going to feel like getting out of bed. No one really feels like exercising. No one really feels like looking at themselves and doing, inner work, right? It's very challenging because when you do inner work, the things that you find out about yourself are not great. It's the same reason that if you're a growth mindset person and you're around a bunch of fixed mindset people, it's easier for people to take down what you're doing as opposed to look at themselves and see how they can be better.
Hey, Chirag.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say thank you for this because it just makes you realize how you fly by the seat of your pants on most things that you do.
Yeah. Look, it's strategic intent, right? Most people treat real estate people just like salespeople. Hey, let's teach you how to make a sale. Let's teach you how to make a sale. But my promise to all of you is I was going to teach you how to have a business, not a service, correct? This is high level strategic thinking and planning that like $1 million and $1 billion companies use. And I'm teaching you, and I've simplified it on how to do it in your real estate business. We could spend more time doing this stuff too, as well. Like it's not, the part is that you don't want to do it because it can be very tedious. It's very challenging to sit in front of a blank doc where you don't know what you're doing and you're just frustrated and everything else. But let's walk through the process again, right? Like we've taken this one, give me 1 second here. Let me clean this up to a new page. Bear with me here. One more second. Okay. Someone had a great idea. Just print the forms and you can just write in them. I think printing them and having them is a lot better than just putting them in a PDF. There's a lot to be said about tangible paper. Look, if someone wants to host a group and do these in small groups, connect with each other, connect on our platform, connect on chat, right? So let me walk you through this process again, right? So we've identified this just for our CRM. Currently, we want the present state. The present state, right, is what you are doing right now. How you are doing it, right? Filling the gap. What will success look like in the future when you make the changes? Say changes, the improvements, right? It's a solution process. How you will do it. Is that now clear to everybody when we look at doing this? Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Now look, this is not going to be easy to do. I'm going to say this again, but you want to know the miracle part? If it was easy to do, everyone would do it. It's very cliche, but it's also true. Are any of your competitors really going to be sitting here going through this obsessively, like my present state, my future state? I'm going to score all my things. This is how you scale your business. Because in a year, when you work on an entire business like this, how much tighter your systems, processes, and client experience can get. And by the way, it's a saying that one of my old mentors has is do the hard work once, right? Drop your questions in the chat. Who has a question? All right, I'm slightly getting worried here today, just a little bit. Corey, I know you have a question. I know you very well. No, not today, huh? Okay. So everyone knows how to do this. I'm going to put the fill document in the chat as well.
I think most people's problem is like just getting the time.
Go on the screen time section of your phone. It's all there. Literally, like, let's go through this next now. I don't think I'm sharing my screen right now. So if we go to screen time, what I would do is to go to see all activity, and I would go to your most used, and I would see how much time you're spending there. And that's how I'd go about doing it. How do you self-report the numbers? You don't overthink it and you put a number, right? Getting an 8 just means that you actually use the system and you're getting results out of it, and you can make small tweaks, right? It doesn't really make a difference as to if is it a 4 or really a 6. What you really need to do is just identify the areas where you need to improve, right? That's really the goal of this. Like people at 1 through 10, listen, don't create overlays on yourself. Don't make it more complicated than it is. And self-reporting can be inaccurate. You need to do with what your gut says. If you think you do a crappy job on something, odds are you do a crappy job. I have a hard time identifying that, meaning I get stuck in getting caught in the minutia of all the things to make it perfect or the best experience, if that makes sense. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense, right? But look, the whole part about doing this through strategic planning, Douglas, is finding something to just make it functional, right? Like, what does success look like, right? So what do I do then for resolving conflict? Doug, unmute yourself.
Hey, good morning, everybody from Pasadena.
Nice. So let's walk through an example. Stacy Yesner, pick where the majority of your business is, whether it's buyers or sellers, and focus on that one first. All right, Doug, give me an example where you get stuck. I'm just going to walk you through how to go about doing this.
Well, let's just do something with database CRM, since we were already on there. Like I normally would do exactly what you say. I just input in the database. Boom. When I met people at the retreat, just tag them on retreat. But then now I'm trying to type in more stuff. Like I copy everything on their profile. Like if I type in Chirag Shah, your profile, I copy that, put it in. I try to fill out
Okay,
a lot
ready?
of other
So
details. All
let's just be simple. The whole goal when you meet agents in something is active listening, right? I literally was taking out my phone and writing into my CRM notes about people. People like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, hey, this is, if you don't mind, give me a minute. This was a really important conversation. I want to jot a couple of things down so we have another conversation just as it go into space. And people really appreciate it. It's a little socially weird, but at Compass, it can be accepted, right? So you got to realize, like, when you start thinking about what you're putting in a CRM, the whole thing that you want to think about is, what information do I need to take the next step, right? So for this listing appointments, if I look at the location off market, that's what I'm going to want to do with it in the future, right? Or if I'm going to want to know listed, I could just pull up all my listings by hitting a tag that says listed, right? So it's not about getting everything. It's about functionality. And that's the key, right? Like, and the simpler you can make it is, how will I use this?
That's the key.
Yeah, that's it. You don't need everything. Listen, there's an overdrive of information in the world today, right? So what I would do is I would reach out to people who are in a group, and I'd find 3 other people in a group, and I would just get on a Zoom like this, and I would start working through it together. And if you get stuck, say, hey guys, I'm stuck on this. What should I do? We need to spend another session on this. Yeah, I'm going to spend both sessions next week going through future state, present state, and I'm going to walk through a few more examples of this so everyone gets it. Hit yes if that would really help you guys out. All right, good.
So
Listen,
functional, I just want to say one quick question. So functional would be shortly, concisely defined as, you're at step 1. What is the information I need just to get to step 2?
No, what are you going to do? Okay, so I met somebody at the retreat, right?
Yeah.
What do I want to do? I want to build a relationship with them, right? What are relationships built on? Relationships. What are relationships built on? Listening. Great relationships are built on listening. So really, like, I'm going into this saying, like, okay, what are a couple of things I could learn about Chirag or any other agent that I meet? Let me just document that down, right?
Right.
I would write, if you met me, you could tell that loves his kids, likes exercising, wants to help people. So like, if you wrote those 3 things down, you found a cool kids activity, you found something about dieting, eating healthy, working out, or you found a cool personal development article and you sent that to me, I'd be like, wow, that's great. And there are a handful of you that knows I love sunsets and sunrises. So I get those too. And I respond to all of those messages. I'm like, wow, that's so thoughtful. Then they actually listen to me, right? So that's how you start doing this. If you have all of this data, you don't even know what you're looking for. Right. And look, having an idea, Miriam, would not be helpful to you because I need to teach you how to do the process. That goes back to curing a symptom versus treating the cause. Look, success looks like at the end of all this that you all know how to do this for all the areas of your business on your own. And now you become real business owners that know how to apply strategic planning and a strategic thought process versus just being able to do a thing. Does that make sense? So we'll go through this in more details. We'll spend a day on buyers, we'll spend a day on sellers, and we'll keep mapping out this present state, future state. And between now and next week, I'm going to work with my team on really seeing how we can outline this for you. Sound good, everybody? Stick with this. Do not give up on this. Please do not give up on this. Like, as we get into a resetting market, this is the most important thing you can do. And this is what's going to set you up for massive success. Right. And look, if you want to stay on here for another couple minutes, Suze on my team is going to drop a form in here of people that want to do this work together. And then we'll share that form out in our weekly newsletter on Saturday. And then you can reach out to other people, right, directly and find little groups. So if you want to be in one of those groups and you have a couple more minutes to stay on here, I encourage you to do so. I have to drop off and do a job interview, but as always, with love in my heart, I love you all. And stay on here, connect, and I promise you, we're going to get you guys to a place that you feel good about this. Bye, everybody.